The emergency patch is finally here. After days of Simmers games being completely broken and being warned to not even play your game by other Simmers in fear that you could break something vital in your save, we now have an emergency patch. The Sims Direct Communications tweeted, "We've begun rolling out an emergency patch to all of our players across platforms. To ensure these fixes get in-game as soon as possible, this patch will be rolling release from now, March 6th, into tomorrow morning, March 7th. So a rolling release means that not everybody will be getting this patch at the exact same time, but it seems in the interest of getting it out very quickly, they have opted for a rolling release. We do have patch notes, and they read, "Today's update contains a number of critical fixes addressing the community's top reported issues over the past week. In the interest of deploying these fixes faster, this update will follow a staggered release cadence. The update is available immediately on PC, Mac, and Xbox, and will arrive on PlayStation soon thereafter." Do let me know in the comments down below if you have received this patch or not. I'm curious how long it's going to take for PlayStation users to get this much needed patch. Under bug fixes for the base game, we have updated some performance optimizations that had caused certain moodlets to inadvertently be removed from Sims on load. Okay, so this was the biggest issue of the patch. Your Sims would not remember things that they had done. If you had a Sim die and your family was sad and you quit the game, when you would come back to it, your Sims would not remember that they were sad over this Sim, and it was a big issue. There are a lot more instances of this. There's over 500 different instances that you can give of Sims not remembering their moodlets. So this was huge and really game-breaking for a lot of users, and I'm so happy that they fixed it, and they did fix it pretty quickly. Other bug fixes are fixed a crash that would occur if a tooltip was triggered when in the hover state on objects within a Sim's inventory. This was a big one too. There was very specific items that if you had them in your inventory and you hovered over them, your entire game would crash to your desktop. It was a horrible bug, and it was very easy to come across this one. But this is fixed, so you should not be seeing game crashing anymore. Fixed an issue with object picker UI menus that, when certain conditions were met, would interfere with Sim's ability to run various give interactions. Interactions where objects would be given to other Sims. This was another big one as well. People couldn't give gifts to their Sims. They couldn't give gifts, they couldn't do Winterfest, all kinds of issues with it. Some couldn't even give flowers, but this is fixed now. Once learned, the woohoo interests of other Sims will once again be displayed accurately in that Sim's profile panel. We do have a for rent fix as well. You should once again be able to successfully open the profile panel of another Sim after eavesdropping on them and see any secrets that were learned about them. This was actually a bug I had as well. The profile panel just did not work properly at all. It was pretty much broken for me, so I'm glad to see this fixed. As you can imagine, most of the bug fixes here are for Crystal Creations and for the major bugs we just went over. For Crystal Creations, corrected an issue where Sims' bodies would gradually change in size each time a Sim put on or took off crafted jewelry. This issue primarily affected teens, adults, and elders. There was minimal impact to young adults. Okay, so that's interesting to me because we did know about this. And here is an example of what would happen if you put jewelry on and off of a teen Sim. It was pretty drastic. And for a while, nobody was really sure if it affected anybody other than teens. But it did in fact affect most age groups. So I am glad to see that this is fixed. However, they do make a note here. While this issue will no longer occur, this update does not retroactively fix the appearance of Sims who have already been altered. There are two methods we can suggest for manually restoring your Sims. You can restore an older save file that was saved prior to any crafted jewelry being worn by your Sims, or you can take your Sim into CAS by using the Change Sim interaction on a mirror or dresser object, and then manipulate your Sim's body to reasonably approximate their prior appearance. So if you had this bug and you ended up with a Sim looking like this, you're pretty much on your own. They don't have anything to help you with this. And I understand why that is, but this is just really kind of sad. I would be so upset if I had a Sim that I loved and I put jewelry on and off, trying out different things, and my Sim came out looking bad because now you have to try to fix them. Most people aren't going to want to roll back to an old save and lose any data or progress that they have, so most people are going to end up just having to alter their Sim back to the way they were and kind of accept that they may not be exactly correct. So this is a bummer, but we can't really expect them to go back in and somehow fix one particular Sim in one save file. That's impossible. But it is sad to see that anybody's Sim that was altered is permanently altered. You will have to change them yourself. For players with The Sims 4 Get to Work, crafted jewelry can now be sold at retail businesses without being returned to the business owner Sim's inventory when traveling away from the retail lot. This is a big one for me because I've been really wanting to make a jewelry store. And I wanted to do it in my little mini LP I'm doing right now with Crystal Creations, but I held off on it because I heard it just didn't work properly. But it is now fixed, and I'm very happy to see that. If a Sim dies while wearing crafted jewelry, that jewelry will now be disassociated with the now dead Sim when the jewelry is returned to the household's inventory. Updated some combinations of crafting jewelry that was resulting in a gemstone color that did not match the crystal that was selected when crafting. And that is the patch notes. Those are all of the bug fixes. These are all pretty much the biggest ones, the major ones that were really hurting people's saves. I am so happy that this is fixed. Make sure you go get this update if it is available to you. If it's not available yet, it will be, as this is a rolling release, so not everybody's getting it at the same time, but hopefully you should have it soon. Some of the comments to the patch notes have been a little cautious, which I can't blame them. It seems like every single time we get a patch lately, it introduces new bugs. But hopefully this one will be fine. I haven't heard of this one introducing any new bugs to the game, but it does take a little bit to find new bugs. So hopefully this patch is solid. If you go to Scarlet's Realm, they post that mods shouldn't be affected by this patch since they were not disabled. Therefore, mod statuses will not reset for this patch. I highly recommend to go to this website for your mods to keep up to date on what has been updated and what hasn't been. They do report that the following bug fix mods should no longer be needed based on the patch notes. Missing moodlets fixed by Turbo Driver. That's a big one. Make sure you take that out of your mod folder before you update. I'm not sure if it would conflict, but since it's fixed in the patch, you no longer need this mod. The other mod is Stack Scheme Crashing Band-Aid by Need Coffee for that. You no longer need that mod either, hopefully. In terms of the patch, I have gone to Twitter and looked around since I have not tested it myself yet, and the Henford Hen says, I can also confirm that the issue where the body on certain life stages would deform when wearing and removing crafted jewelry has been fixed. This user says, I'm happy that the most recent emergency patch fixed the game-breaking issues. My sim gifted Cassandra got the ring, and she still looks like her normal self. Today's patch fixed it for me. My teen sims can now put on and take off custom jewelry without distorting. So it does seem that the issues are in fact fixed, thankfully. I have actually gotten this update myself, and for me on PC, the update was 330 megabytes. Now, when you go get this update, make sure before you get it that you back up your save files just in case. As we know from recent events, patches can introduce bugs, so make sure you have a backup of all of your save files. But yes, it does seem that a lot of issues were fixed with this patch. I'm so happy for it. But let me know down below, are you still experiencing any glitches, bugs after getting this patch? Let me know down below. I'm hoping most issues were fixed for a lot of people, but we know not everything can be fixed with one patch. But that is all I have for this video. I want to give a huge thank you to all of my members of the channel. Thank you all so much. I love all of you. And if you'd like to become a member, join below. I hope all of you have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.